When you texted me, I was still sleeping. my
Stop.
my nights are so late. Like I need to get my beauty rest in.
Wow. Well, I'm 2 hours ahead, so there's that.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
What do you got for this weekend?
Um, just time with close friends. I'm recovering. I had surgery on my eye.
Oh my God, I couldn't even tell before,
It's
but
so much better. It's like it wasn't as visual as it was like inside my eye pressure. So
yeah.
it feels so much better. But yeah, we've been to the farmer's market. I bought some gluten-free chocolate chip banana bread, and we're just cooking, and yeah, just a cozy little Easter. I
Well,
heard
everybody,
it's raining in California again.
it is. But before you get off topic, walk us through the surgery. Everybody wants to know about the fun surgery. Like, how was that?
It
See,
was just, they put me to sleep and I woke up and I went home. It was a very easy procedure, but because they have to go inside of my eye and like cut into it, they needed me completely gone because apparently when you start moving with like blades and knives into someone's eye and they're awake, it doesn't work.
so you were out for like a couple hours.
Yeah, I mean, I think the actual surgery he said was like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, but man, that recovery from anesthesia was pretty intense.
Did they give you any Xanax?
No, nothing. Mm-mm.
I save my Xanax for all my surgeries, and then I just use them for other times I need them.
All your surgeries? What surgeries are you
Uh,
having?
I've had like leg compartment syndrome surgeries, but they always give me Xanax and Vicodin and stuff. But I just save them
Oh,
for when
nice.
I need them.
Yeah, I could probably use something like that for when I fly.
So do you feel like a difference in your vision? Not to make this about your surgery, but do you feel a difference in your vision, or is it just like an aesthetics thing, how you look?
No, it's a difference in the pressure on my eye pressure. There was like a scab or like a growth that was growing on the inside of my eye and it put pressure on my eye. So then you could see it out here and it was pushing in here. So much better.
I think you should have come on with an eye patch. That would have been hot.
I bought some, but I didn't end up needing them. So it's a good fashion statement. The
Uh,
pirate. I had a callback the morning of my surgery. So I had to do the callback and then I had to take off all my makeup again and shower for surgery and then go do that. But I'm on hold for that job.
People, that's the dedication of an actor. You can learn a lot. If anything from this is that you need to have dedication. Even when you have eye surgery, you need to be ready to go.
You need to do your callbacks. Don't turn them down. You never know.
Even if you are in the ER room or about to do post surgery or pre surgery, you've got this set up. Make sure you have a background and proper lighting in your.
Oh, I took my ring light to the surgery center just in case.
Bring your ring light and have someone to read. Have the nurses read with you. The nurse technicians, they can read off lines with you.
Yeah, my anesthesiologist was pretty good too with like holding the camera and everything. So
Well, I'm sure everybody is glad you're safe, because the YouTube fans have been clamoring to know.
I
Shaz,
heard.
it has been raining here. It's been raining since yesterday, so it's a big deal here. People are driving off the roads, and it's just total calamity here. And it's not safe to leave the house. It's kind of like that movie, The Purge. You just gotta lock in and wait
You
for it.
got you got to wait it out.
Yeah.
Rain in LA. My goodness. No, it's been gorgeous here. Went out on paddle boats yesterday. It's just beautiful.
This is like an ad for Texas versus the anarchy of Los Angeles. Because whenever you ask me, I'm like, yeah, LA sucks. And you're like, Texas is beautiful. I never really pitch LA. And I think
LA
that's,
is gorgeous too. Are you kidding me? California has beautiful climate. mountains, beaches, deserts, everything you could ask for, and the best climate is in Southern California. That's
But
why when
people
it rains, we all I'm like, "Oh my goodness, is it raining in LA?" It's so crazy.
but people think that LA is like this shithole with homeless people all over the place because of, the news, but it's actually nice. Like when people come here, they're like, "Oh my god, it's really nice here." I thought there's like protesters, and it's not like if I like Portland, for example. When I went to Portland a few weeks ago, a couple of my friends, and they watch the news a lot. They're like, "Oh my god, is Portland just a mess?" I'm like, "No, it was nice." I feel like we had got this different perception of how towns are based on media.
Well, and I mean, there's nice and bad parts of every major city. I was just in Atlanta, and it would be like I'd be on one street and be pretty scared to stop at the gas station, and then I'm like two streets over, and it's adorable. So it's just the way it works. There's nice parts of every big city.
Is there a city that's left on your bucket list to live in? Because somebody asked me that.
To live in, to try and live in. I wouldn't mind living in Greece.
Why?
I just the temperature actually is supposed to be very similar to California temperature, but I just like that look of like the all white like structures of homes on the mountainside and then like the deep blue sea. It looks so majestic. I haven't been. So I guess going there would be first, but living there would be neat.
Greece is. I've never once thought about Greece ever. Maybe Little Caesar's Pizza, that guy with the toga, or Animal House. But that's interesting. You say Greece, and you think about beauty as a place to live in. I'd go crazy. I need like some kind of city life or interaction.
Oh yeah, I'm okay not having that. I go to Meepos. Is that where Balki's from Perfect Strangers?
Um, yes, me post. Uh, are you following what's going on with P Diddy by some chance?
Yes.
Are you really? I never asked about new stuff, but I was scrolling through new stuff before, and I think they're closing in on Sean Combs. And I actually ran into him once in New York City, and he was wearing sunglasses at night, so it's not a facade. Um, tell me your views on sex trafficking. Now, I'm just curious because I was what struck me as most interesting was that he's got these multiple homes around the U.S. Do you ever work with him in some capacity as a model or as an actress?
Hmm.
All right,
Yeah,
so maybe we should not talk about this if I don't want you to be like deposed in court.
exactly. Yeah. I'd like to stay out of it. I have a very personal experience.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. People, if you have any questions for Shazia about her interactions with famous celebrities, this is your
I'm in the Diddy video. His song, it's called Diddy.
which video?
Diddy. It's called
Oh,
Diddy.
I'm not up to date with my. Let me just ask you one question. Was he wearing sunglasses during the day? Because the one time I ran into him in New York, he was wearing sunglasses at night.
I have encountered Diddy more than once. Sunglasses, yes. No sunglasses, yes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the whole
Yeah, don't say anything else. We're alive, so it's totally fine. But the eye surgery in the rain, it's all good. I'm glad you're back on the scene, Shaz. Because you know what, Hollywood is actually. There's an article in Deadline that says Los Angeles is completely dead as a Hollywood economy. Like there are no jobs. And I know a few people who were like producers and stuff, and they're now like driving Ubers to pay the bills. Like there's a lack of jobs. Are you seeing that in Texas at all for entertainment?
I'm not. I am seeing it in the industry. As you know, I also work for an agency. And so just on the commercial and print side, not theatrically. So I see a lot of the breakdowns that come through LA, and it has really slowed down. And not only has it slowed down, but some of the rates are shockingly low. I feel like I there's talent that I've encountered that have said, I don't want to do this job because I get more on unemployment and I don't want to lose my unemployment. If I do this job, I'll lose my weekly unemployment and make less money. And that's a crazy thing to think about. Um, so I have definitely seen a downturn. It's also an election year. And it's just a strange time. I think a lot of people just don't know what's going to happen in the economy. So they're not spilling all this money into new marketing campaigns or productions. Hopefully it'll shift. The industry ebbs and flows. It's just the way it does its thing. So I hope I see a comeback soon. But I think the main thing is people have to start saying no to these ridiculously low paying jobs. Crazy. I see hourly rates are like, we need a model for $30 an hour. I'm like, who is going to say yes to this?
Do you think it's because of the election year or it's because of the strike ramifications?
I think it's a combination of all of it. And that has just made people kind of halt and see what happens. And it's not just the election year and it's not just the strike. It's the economy is really bad. There's wars going on all around the world. People's priorities have shifted, where they want to spend money, where they want to grow their companies. It's just, there's a lot of things in the air. And I think they need to start settling before we see some kind of comeback in the industry.
Yeah. I have never seen it this bad. Like I always am able to get like agents real quick whenever I want to like just shift around. And this is the first time like I'm getting like no responses from like anybody. And I'm like, well, I don't think it's me. I think it's more this fact of like there's not enough jobs, so they don't want to like take on clients.
I see more agencies releasing talent than taking on talent right now. I heard of one huge one in 1 week released 30. And then there was a big agency that kind of fell apart about a week ago. And so now there's like one of the agents went to a big name and took all the talent that was worth, taking. And
Who,
the
A,
rest of the agents are now, huh?
you talking about Abrams A3 Abrams artist? Could that is
I think that's it. Yeah.
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 Also,
So,
go ahead. Sorry.
well, I just think there's just so much shifting and things in the air happening right now. I think we'll be able to know more come next year, the direction of our industry.
Yeah, there's an agency in LA, and I was just reading on like Deadline called KSMR. I think it's pretty big,
Mhm.
and they weren't paying their actors.
I
And
saw that, and they owe their actors tons of money right now.
how do you not pay your actors when the checks come in? Shouldn't that be first money out for talent?
I think it depends. Yeah, if it's SAG's probably involved. They need to take it to the labor board. I had that happen once. I was with an agency that I guess folded, and they owed me a lot of money. And I got a lawyer, and then the lawyer was like, "You just need to go to the labor board downtown LA and file a claim because these agencies have bonds." But the thing is you have to file right away because the bond has a set amount of money in it, and whatever talent they owed money to, if it runs out, it runs out. Then you do have to do a lawsuit. So I went right to the labor board. I got paid right away. I just had to show them that I did this job. They confirmed it with the client and they paid me.
If there's a lesson I've learned in showbiz, it's to diversify. Like I always thought when I was younger, I was like, oh, you have to just do this and make your money off one thing. As I'm older now, I see people doing multiple things to make an income. Somebody told me that Alan Ruck from Succession was managing buildings between jobs or something. This guy was from Ferris Bueller. This guy was on Spin. I was an intern on Spin City, and he was a recurring on Spin City. And I guess before he did all these weird jobs between, but I heard he was also managing. I don't know if this is true or not.
Well, I just watched a documentary with Jonathan Rumi, who stars on The Chosen.
Hmm.
And it opens up with he still lives in his apartment in Santa Monica where he has been an actor for like 20 years and lived, and he manages that building. But he's a
Yeah.
star of one of the biggest shows in the world. The Chosen is like huge. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many stories. There's a guy named T.C. Carson from Living Single, this black dude, and he's a really good actor. And he was saying when got let go from the show after multiple seasons, he was debating getting a job at Target because he was like, I need a job. And I don't think he did it, but he was like, oh, my purpose wasn't to work at Target. But I think everybody can just relate in general to life, just, kicking your ass and you've got to somehow pay the bills.
Well, and gone are the days of like big, huge celebrity and, Julia Roberts, and she never has to work again because actors don't get paid like that anymore. You don't have those platforms to get paid like that. We don't have network TV, and the films just aren't paying like they used to unless you're a huge big star, which they're starting to move away from that. They don't want to spend their money on the big star. They'd rather spend it on someone who's experienced but an unknown, and they can get them for like a huge budget cut basically.
What were some of your jobs when you were first starting between acting jobs? Before you were on Disney Descendants, what were some of your jobs?
Well, let's see.
Disney Descendants 4. Sorry. I'm
Descendants 4.
yeah.
I worked at a hair salon from like high school until 20. And then I started auditioning like at 18. Like I did the Backstreet Boys music video then. And I got a job at the mall, and I worked on the weekends as like a sales rep at the mall. And then I had to quit that job by like 22. And all I did was acting and modeling and commercials. Back then, modeling and commercials was your job while you pursued an acting career. And it was lucrative. I think those days are far and few now, like those types of jobs. But that's what I did. And then I went to school for Ayurvedic medicine. I thought I'd be an Ayurvedic practitioner, but I felt like it was too much responsibility of like with people's health and their lives and the schooling that I had. I just didn't feel confident enough doing that solely as my living. So that was it until the pandemic happened. And I thought, oh gosh, what am I going to do now? And my friend who owns this big agency, and she had been my agent at Wilhelmina for years, was like, why don't you come work for me on the back end? So I did that. And I still work for her on the back end. I still help her out. I edit a lot of films. So, like actors' headshots, I'm really good at editing those. But
Did you ever go crazy working with actors?
no, it's a different breed for sure. These younger actors are not our generation. They're more bold too. They don't, like when we started out, it was like you didn't say no to your agent. Your agent held power. There was like a hierarchy. They don't see that. They're like, no, I didn't answer my phone. I was having a rough day. I don't care that I missed the audition or that the job was $40,000, and that's it. And that's how they see the world, which, honestly, I can respect that. And it took me a long time to understand. Like, I never said no to an agent ever. If I had driven all the way to Santa Monica and I was halfway home to Rancho Cucamonga an hour and a half later, and they were like, oh, they want you to come back, they want you to do it with another partner, I would turn the car around and drive back to Santa Monica. No, these nowadays are like, no, I'm home. I have my shoes off. Or I had someone say, "Oh, I'm at the gym. I forgot to go to my audition. Sorry." Like, okay, okay.
Because I noticed just in young comedians, there's a level of confidence, which I probably had this youth confidence where they just are kind of delusional sometimes, where like there's like no laughter. I went to open mic yesterday just to like try out some stuff, and I would see comics on stage, and there's like no laughter, but they've got this confidence. Like, why are you confident about this? Like, clearly, like you're not doing well, but there's this thing which I think you need to have. to get through these firewalls.
Agreed. Agreed. If you could just use it correctly, you'd be unstoppable.
Well, are you using it correctly now? Do you think? Are you confident?
I, for the first time, did set a boundary earlier this year with some of my agents, and I've never done that. And it felt very empowering. And you know what? It actually brought in that which I was seeking. And so I realized, you know what? Just say what you need and put it out there and set a boundary. It does work, and people will respect it. So yeah, I think they're onto something.
Yeah, I need that. I just feel like as with anything in life, as you get older, you kind of just have ebbs and flows. But it's really when you have the dark periods that you've got to maintain your confidence. And I see some of my friends just keep moving like sharks, even though they're just like down and out. They just keep going forward, and I think that's you can't teach that. At the end of the
No,
day.
that perseverance. That's what our industry teaches us, though. I mean, this is an industry of you work every day and you don't get paid every day, and people say no and shut a door in your face every day. And so either you can let that completely break you down or you can let it build you up. It's a choice.
Well, what else would you do if you weren't in front of a camera?
What would I do?
Ayurvedic medicine.
No, I don't think I would. I mean, I would do that for myself. I think I would love to have like a skincare line that I made at home. I would like to have a couple of like beehives that I make fresh honey from. And yeah, I would probably make apothecary and like beautiful indulgent skincare products that are organic from like ingredients in my garden.
What's stopping you now from doing that?
Time, time. I have a self tape that's due that as soon as we're done, I have to do a self tape. Um, I had so many last week, and you know, it's like you have to break down the scene, and you need to be memorized, even though they say you don't need to be memorized. You need to then produce it and edit it and upload it. And it's just time consuming. Even if it's a commercial audition, it's time consuming.
Yeah, not to bring us back to news, but I was reading about Sam Bankman-Fried. I don't know if you know who this guy is. He's the leader. He was the former boss of FTX, the crypto exchange thing that went bankrupt, and he got
Yeah.
sentenced to years. And I think he's like 20, 30 years old, young guy. But they were interviewing him about why everything collapsed, and his big answer, if you just dilute it all, was managing. He was like, I didn't manage my time properly to manage everything, which probably was an excuse. But I do think that's a real thing for everybody. It's just time, right? Whether you're an actor or you're a business person, like you've really got to learn how to manage your time efficiently.
Well, we can't because we never know. You know, it's like the tried and true book a vacation, you'll book a job. It's like, how can I manage my time when suddenly I get an audition that has a deadline that's so specific? My time is no longer mine. I'm working against a deadline now. And that makes it challenging.
I think that's what frustrates me the most because everybody's got the same 24 hours a day. And I'm like, well, how come I can't, because thing is, you can spend time doing stuff, but it can be for naught, right? Versus, you study for like law school, like you see like little increments here and there. But you're successful, Shazia. I mean, I think that's the best thing about your career is that you're actually seeing growth, right? Even in Texas, you're seeing advancement.
I'm seeing myself also, yeah. I mean, I shift categories and it's been interesting. I've taken years off, you know, when I had my kids, I took 8 years off and came back. So, um, it's been nice to me. And I don't have any complaints about it other than right now I do think that actors basically work for free, and we give a lot of ideas to production where they may watch someone's read and be like, oh, we want it played like that, but we're not going to cast him. We're going to cast him and we're going to have it play it like that guy because that was genius. And the genius guy gets nothing. He worked for free. And I've seen it happen. I've heard stories about people having other actors come up to them and be like, oh my gosh, you auditioned for this thing, but I got it. And they showed me your tape because they wanted me to do it the way you did it. It's like,
Mm.
what a slap in the face. So it's a hard job. So you do have to be resilient.
Did you ever work as a TV host?
I did. I worked one summer for a surf channel and I was the host. And then I went and did a pilot with that production company in Mexico for like this travel show host. And I basically just interviewed surfers and watched surf competitions and roamed around, lived in a Malibu for a summer at a beach house for the surf channel. It was a fun time, but
You never explored that? I can be the weather girl on KTLA News or
you and your weather girl thing for me, I don't know. Yeah, I guess my thing is I love fantasy, sci-fi, fantasy, and comedy, and I those are what fulfill me and what I became an actor for. It's either just it's to play, to provide comedy relief for people or to entertain them through fantasy and magical worlds like Lord of the Rings, those type of shows. So I just keep on track of one day. One day.
I'm only asking because that's the only door that's kind of open to me right now is like this hosting random things. And I was gonna shoot a short, and I like wrote a short to like shoot, and I started calling actors and stuff, and it was like pulling teeth essentially. And I was like, God, I'm getting this negative feedback from myself. I'm like, I don't want to have to go through this having to shoot a show. And I was gonna pay everybody too. But I was like, God, this is such a headache, like wrangling these actors together and shooting it. And I was like, let me just listen to myself and I just cut the cord. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna shoot something. I'm not gonna just force it down my own. It's like swallowing a pill. And so I was like, I can just host for my own shit, and that'll be that.
Well, you're a good host. I mean, you're good with the microphone and doing your own thing. Where, like, for me, I want to be playing in like a make believe world with other people, or like that's what fulfills me.
I think I'm talking more about, I guess, this writing and producing your own stuff. I think
Uh,
when you're acting and people just pay you to show up, it's like a different world. But when you have to like create something, there's so many headaches involved.
I can imagine.
So I'm assuming you've never directed your own stuff.
I did one show that I created and was able to direct. I sold it to Discovery Studios, and I was super pregnant. So everyone was really catering to me. And because I had sold it to a studio, it took a lot of pressure off of me. But when I made like the sizzle reel for it and when I was pitching it, yeah, it was a lot. And it was a lot of like scary, who's going to steal my idea stuff too, even though it was registered and all of that, because someone still made a show very much like it. And my show did not get picked up.
So why stop directing if you had success in that avenue?
That's like I said, I was heavily pregnant. That's kind of when I stopped working and just focused on being a mom. And I'm still so busy being a mom. I have two kids that, like you just said, the headache and being like creating stuff, writing stuff, directing stuff, it's a lot. And with just acting, it's still fun and I can still be a mom.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not going after more mama roles, honestly. Unless you are
More what?
mom roles, mother
Oh,
roles.
that's the majority of what I do.
So you're not getting cast as like 25 anymore.
No, no, I'm very high on the age range these days.
Would you let your hair grow gray and be like, I'll be like the grandma at some point?
I totally would love to have silver hair, but I don't know if that's gonna happen for me. I have sisters that are older than me, and they still have all the pigment in their hair.
I would definitely go gray too. I know guys who dye their hair just because like I gotta look younger in Hollywood. I'm like, is it really that important? I mean,
Not right now. Right now, what's trending is silver. Like, if I had silver hair, I think I'd work a ton more. And men too, they want the salt and pepper or full gray. They want the, what do they call them? I forget. There's like a word. But yeah, it's trending right now. And it's also just marketing has opened up who they market to. The demographics are so much wider, capturing a wider audience.
sure. There's a question. FS2, the max, whatever that
Oh yeah,
means.
are you going for dad roles, Tharun?
I'm not going for any roles. I'm not even acting. So no, the only dad roles I'm going for are in personal life. If I like knock up a chick here in LA, so yeah, it's the only time I'll ever go for a dad role. So no, I am not going for dad roles. But when I was auditioning, I booked a shit ton of dad roles, especially in commercial print. We got a lot of photos of me with like this kid, and I'm like, oh, fake smiling, or we're on a slide, or some
Fake
play.
family.
Yeah, fake family. I do a lot of that stuff, like fake moms, and it's kind of cool because you get to see who they think who you would marry, right? So I'm always like, okay, that's great. I'm still with an attractive person. It's not some fat slob.
I have had now 3 times I've been paired up for 3 totally different ad campaigns with the same guy as my husband. And I'm like, I guess the marketing people see us as a couple.
That's
And that
terrific.
was in LA, not here. It's not like, oh, you're in Texas, you're in a smaller market. No, this was in LA.
What if they hired you and like the husband was like wearing a wife beater? He's like alcohol. They're like, this is how we see you. This is the guy.
This is your vibe. I mean, hey, if you're paying me and I believe in the product, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, those are my dad roles, and I would totally play a dad in a sitcom. In fact, I would love it because that'd be like my family I never had. And be like, oh my god, I've got a family now, and
Yeah.
I would take Christmas cards, pictures, and send it to my family. Like other Indians were like, this is my family.
You're
You
like
know,
the Indian everybody loves Raymond.
I would totally do that. Everybody loves Rajesh or something.
Yes. We need to do that. Like I told you, we need to do like Indian version. They are doing that. Did you see like the Indian Forrest Gump?
God,
Lal Singh Chaddo? I think that's what it's called.
why does
Uh,
Bollywood? They always just take like a movie and they just blatantly just copy the
they're
story.
like, yep, yeah. It's interesting. I actually liked that one.
I cover Bollywood news for Showbiz India, and there's a movie called Tiger Shroff. Tiger Shroff is an actor. He's doing a movie called Rambo, like literally just called Rambo.
Why not? Just
Why
don't
not?
even try it.
Yeah. The comment everybody loves Raymond was from an era where every comedian had a sitcom. Yeah, he's absolutely right. I've talked about this in my own podcast. That's a different sitcom. I've always said that comics, especially, they got sitcoms back in the '90s, early 2000s. Like that was the thing, and now it's every comedian's got a podcast. Like that's the thing where you get to know someone. So I feel like the market's changed in general
Oh
as an
yeah.
art.
Oh yeah. And it's
Uh,
still changing. I don't think it's settled on anything. I think we're still just kind of finding what the future of entertainment is really going to be. And I mean, episodes. Have you seen any of those shows?
what do you mean, like in terms of sitcoms, or just in terms?
Yeah, yeah. I think like that Sheldon show, Young Sheldon, which is based off of Big Bang Theory. I
Yeah.
think they're like 20-minute episodes. Super short, but effective. So, but I guess they can make them on less of a budget.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. In fact, a friend was telling me, he said, this is the first time I've ever seen multi-millionaire comedians flying on jets around the country because of the podcast thing. and even specials now. Like there's a guy named Andrew Schultz who's a very big podcaster, and he got famous off his comedy because he put out like a Netflix or maybe a YouTube 15-minute special. Not even an hour, it was 15 minutes because he kind of knew that our attention spans aren't what they used to be. So you've really got to cater to the market and the changing
No.
ADD culture almost.
Yeah, and everyone's gonna forward it out and be like, "Hey, watch this. It's only 15 minutes. Tell me what you think." When someone sends you an hour-long forward, it's like, "Oh, let me
Yeah.
get through."
Would you do a sitcom? I mean, I feel like you'd be great. I've always told you that. I guess Desi OC was kind of a sitcom.
Yeah, yeah, I love sitcom. I think that it feels sitcoms to me feel like live theater type of work, and it's fun for me. And
How
I
about
love improv.
how about Broadway?
Would I do Broadway?
Mhm.
Maybe once my kids are out of the house, if I could still memorize things.
Um, I think there's a comment for you. You can read it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Shazi. I've heard that songs are now being produced under 3 minutes. I was wondering why every radio hit was under 3 minutes. It's to match the length of some of these TikToks. Yeah, it's our attention span. It's so true. Everything is shorter because people move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I was debating like I'm trying to create like a format for myself. I was like, I gotta get shit moving. So I was like, let me create a format, which is why I was trying to shoot something. Let me create a scripted format. But even now that's I'm thinking about the attention span. I'm like, well, it can't be a format that's gonna just blow the thing out of the water, where it's like right. But let me just add this in. There are guys on YouTube who are making millions of dollars creating these long form scripted things. It's like there's this like guy named Darman or something. He's some Indian guy making these awful like after school specials, like these long form, 20-minute plus YouTube videos. And I watched like few. They're crap, but I gotta admire this guy's business sense because he's figured out a niche for himself. So that scripted long form thing, 20 that plays very well algorithm on YouTube. So
Mm.
to be a slave to this 2 minute, 3 minute thing, I feel like there's always entry points in different areas of showbiz.
Well, and I think that things just come in and out. Like maybe right now we all have short attention spans. So maybe in 10 years from now, everyone goes back to demanding longer things that hold our attention. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can create a show or something where Shazia is doing. Or maybe you can do a Twitch stream where you play video games. Yeah, you have
You
Snoop
know
Dogg.
what?
Those are huge.
That is
Twitch.
not how I want to spend my life. If someone if someone wants to videotape me walking every day, that would be great because that is something I enjoy doing, walking in nature, or like being in my garden, or making apothecary, making skincare. That's fine.
See, but you're saying this. I don't know if you're joking about it, but those are actual all like shows you can be making. Like here's Shazzy in the garden. Here's me making my skincares. Those are legitimate show ideas.
Okay.
No, I'm
No,
saying
I
for real. Like people have huge brands. Like they create these little niches for themselves. Like I'm the garden person. I'm the skincare person. Next thing you know, you got this huge follow. That's why these fitness followers. I mean, they're like these dudes and girls, like or women, and they've got these huge followings because they work out every day and they just videotape themselves doing reps.
okay. All right. Maybe I need to venture outside of my box.
Maybe combine the two, garden skincare.
I like it. I think you're onto something. That sounds dreamy, actually.
Yeah, yeah. If you have any questions for Shazia, please keep it coming because this is the only time you're going to be able to get her because she's off their grid and you won't find her because she doesn't want you stalking her. Me, did you see the video I sent you where I had people come to my house for breakfast? I sent you this video.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. I can't believe you would open up your house to strangers, but
I
then
still,
I can.
well, maybe I might meet the one, maybe my one stalker, right? Like I marry my stalker and we've got a family. Then I can live my sitcom. Maybe that's a sitcom right there. A guy
I think it would
stalker,
be.
like everybody
I
likes.
don't think it's ever a good idea to marry your stalker.
But let's just look at the pros here. someone who's dedicated, someone who's always there for you, never forgets your birthday, um, knows your social security number if you forget it, right? Just knows all.
Someone who's obsessed with you in a very unhealthy way and would probably not know where the line is drawn between like hurting you and loving you.
Yeah, it's like Misery.
Misery. Remember that crazy movie? Exactly.
Yeah, which is a great horror movie, by the way. That scared me when I was a kid growing up.
Yeah, that's really scary stuff. Single white female too. That was scary stuff.
I could see you in Scream, Shazia. I'm just gonna say it. I could see you as like the horror girl, like running away from the guy with the knife. I can definitely see you doing that role. Kathy
Not being
Bates,
the person chasing.
yeah, Kathy Bates. It was terrifying. She's a great actress, though. One of the best.
Phenomenal.
Um, Perhaps one day you'll be like the lady from Goonies. Remember that girl, Shazia, the mom from Goonies, or
Oh,
the grew up. You'll be like 80 years old, like yelling at people, and people are like, "Remember Shazia
yes.
when she was in Disney's 4? Now she's the terrifying senior citizen."
I have actually thought about that. I've thought about once again taking a hiatus for like the next 10 years, 15 years, and coming back as an older woman and just doing the genre that I love, which would be either comedy or sci-fi, fantasy, thriller type of stuff where I do play a scary, like, is she evil or is she good? We don't know. That's yummy. I want to do that.
Well, that's a positive to like wrap up on because even though there's a lot of negatives, that's the best thing about Hollywood. You can really reinvent yourself in different ways.
It is true. And you have to reinvent yourself. No one's going to do it for you. Your agents are only going to promote you the way you present yourself to them. So you want to go out for fantasy stuff, make sure your headshots and your reel says that. If you want to do comedy, make sure your headshots and your reel says that. They can't pitch you for something that you don't give them and you're not putting out there.
100%. Like that's the best thing. Like you've got to really just create that image for yourself of who you want to be. And in fact, I really think that applies behind the scenes as well. Like if you put on like a coat and tie every day to work, like people are going to see you as a professional. Like our perception, how people perceive us, we can really control that.
Yes, sir. I was going to say absolutely again, but I'm trying not to say that word. I
Absolutely.
feel like I overuse it. I overuse absolutely and 100%. Done.
I always say 100%, and I think because I watch too much TikTok, because people say 100% in their comments. You know,
Yeah, we ear gets trained to use it.
I had this joke that I've been using because I heard body count. You know what that is?
No.
What's your body? So that's a TikTok thing. I guess body count means how many people have you slept with? What's your body count?
Oh, that's frightening. It sounds like how many people you've killed.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I thought. She goes, my body count's 8. What's yours? And I was like, well, one time I hit a hitchhiker, and and yeah, because I didn't know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. So I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure body count in all the forensic shows that I watch does mean that. Like are we just rewriting definitions now?
Yeah, no, we can. I mean, look, that's the beauty of Hollywood, of TikTok. We're just creating things. You can't say dead on TikTok. You have to say unalive. Otherwise, they.
But this is why I'm not on TikTok. I'm sorry to all the TikTok fans out there. It's too many rules that are beyond me.
Well, you can follow Shazia on her own TikTok platform, where you can say whatever you want. Truth, freedom. It's the new.
Listen, I'm more of a tic tac type of person than a TikTok. Like I'd rather eat the candy and have fresh breath.
Wow, that's a quote people are going to use. Trump 2024, baby. What's that site he has, like Truth Serum? I don't know. He's got this alternate Twitter account or something. It's where you tell the truth.
Wait, who does?
It's like this conservative, I guess Twitter or something, where you can just say whatever you want.
Oh,
Oh, I forget what it's called.
X?
No, there's like something else. It doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, Shazia, don't ever let anybody constrain your voice because we need it.
Thanks. I'll be over here eating Tic Tacs.
Uh, and this last quote, let's read this. Sounds like a Nancy Pelosi line, tic tac toe, a winner. She went viral for that quote.
Please don't ever compare me to Nancy Pelosi. Please.
But maybe that's your acting role, that like a biography of Nancy Pelosi, another 10 years, 20 years. And they're like, Shazia.
What if she do that creepy, like, happy Sunday morning? Good morning. I don't know. Yeah, no. Politics, me, I stay far away from politics. Politicians, I don't understand you guys. It's like a whole other world. I've got an actor creative mind. Politics and policies are not my jam.
But those movies are huge, though. Like that movie about Fox News and Rupert Murdoch, I think. Remember those four blonde, like I forgot, there were like four actresses. I'm just saying these political bio movies are huge. They do great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they'd be fun. I don't know that that's a genre of film that I'd want to be in, though. I feel like it's such touchy subjects, and people are so on polarizing like sides, and it's just torn the world apart. And I'm like, what is this all about? It's sad.
Oh, I'd do it. I'd be Vivek Ramaswamy in a bio movie. Screw it.
I could see you doing that.
Yeah, I do
I
it for
could see
free.
you doing
Why
that.
not? Why not?
That would be. Was that your dream role? My dream role is to be like a queen. Perhaps she's evil from like in a fantasy, like a Game of Thrones or like a Lord of the Rings type. That would be my dream role.
Yeah, my dream role is Vivek Ramaswamy for sure. If I could just do
Okay.
my life. Well, Shaz,
I
I'll let you enjoy your Sunday. Happy Easter to everybody who tuned in. We thank you for your questions. FS2 the Max especially, who
FS2, the Max, really brought the A game today.
yeah, that sounds like some kind of like sex pill or something like Viagra. Like, you like Viagra? Try FS2 the Max. This will increase your
Like the kind at the gas station, like in the middle of nowhere, like the FS2, the Max.
yeah,
Yeah.
a great car name or a gas station. All right, everybody have a great day. You can follow me on Instagram. Don't follow Shazia because she's off the radar.
Please don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't follow her. But yeah, hey, we appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for jumping on. And Shaz, I will see you. Uh,
Yeah. See you. Happy Easter.
yeah,
Bye,
happy.
T.
Take care. Bye bye. And scene.